Hello once again. Today we're going to script our first reverse shell in here in our series of videos on Python for penetration testing. So today what we'll learn here, instead of creating a reverse shell code using MSF Venom and a listener with MSF console, we'll create our own reverse shell code with Python. Okay, it will be very interesting one, and the code will get a little bit complicated and big one also. No need to worry, we'll spend a lot of time on it and we have a lot of time to code and to learn. Okay, so today we'll start with, we have two machines running in here, and my Windows machine will be my victim's machine and my Kali Linux will be my attacker machine. And previously we were doing the development of code using PyCharm, and we have Python idle also, and we can use that one also to create our Python code. Okay, and in Kali Linux I'll be simply using my normal nano editor to create our shells. Okay, so before going on with that, we'll just create first a basic connection between two machines that we can perform commands, and then we can build how to transfer files from the victim's machine to your machine. Okay, so what's the main use of creating our own script and own reverse shell codes in here? Obviously we all know, because of antiviruses, anti-malwares, our code can detected by our firewalls, or your reverse connection can get detected by IDS and IPS. So to avoid that, we are going to build our own reverse shell code. Okay, so this is very easy, and this is my attacker machine and my Windows machine will be my victim machine. Okay, so I'll just write the code in here, and nano attacker.py, this is what we do, and we need our shebang line just like we all do every time. Okay, so user bin Python, and I need to import our usual library, socket library. Okay, so once we imported the library successfully, and now we need to call our main function and we need to define our function, right? So in our main function, this is very simple. We just call the main function, and in defining our main function we need only one function for connection. Okay, nothing more than that. So we'll just simply call that function in here, connect in here, in that function itself. That's it. And now we will create our function in here, define connect. We're going to connect, and we're going to, you can make it as a listener also, because our Kali machine is a listener in here, and you can name it as a listener also, no issue. And I need to create the socket first for connection, right? So I've just made a socket in here, and then what I'm doing in here, for S bind, for listener, bind is an action that you can listen for the connection with your Kali machine, attacker's machine. Okay, that's why I'm using bind in here, and you can go on with your IP address. So 192.168, and you have to be very clear when you are giving up the IPs. It should be in the string. So 138, if I'm not wrong, let me check it. Okay, 138. Now come on, and any port you can give, 8080 or 88, any port you can give in here. Okay, and next thing I need to give in here is that listen. So what is this is that listen? Our connection S variable should listen for only one connection. So you want only one connection. If you want many times, you can go on, and your code will vary according to that. Okay, then what I'm going to do in here, I'll just introduce two variable in here, and I need to assign it for the incoming connection. So if the S connection accepts any connection, it will go into this connection and also with the address also. Okay, and if the connection happens, then it will print it out that successfully we got successfully connected. Okay, so we got successfully connected. And what happened next, once we done this, next, once this connection has been made, we need to perform some commands, right? For performing commands, you have to put your connection in loops. Otherwise, because your connection should be the persistent one there, and we need to perform multiple commands, right? If you perform only one command and after that your program got closed, then there is no use, right? So you have to be, the commands you have to be in the loops. So what for that, I'll be using the while loop. So while true, and if you send any command, okay, the variable command gets the input from the shell. Okay, so I'm just giving in this way, and so the command will be after this word in this space in the victim's machine. You will be performing the command and it will go into the victim's hand, attackers, and it will go into your machine. Okay, next I need to add a if command. I need to add a if condition in here. In case if the user gives terminate, the attacker gives terminate in command. Okay, and what it should do, it should terminate the connection. Okay, so connection send, and it should terminate the connection, and it should go in encoded manner. Why we use encode in here? So everything we do with the command, the string, it goes, the Unicode string goes into sequence of bytes. Okay, so it should go in encoding. When we receive, we use decoding. Okay, when we perform anything, when we transfer files, we use encode and decode. Okay, that's why we use encoding here. Okay, so everything is done. Now what I need to do, I need to close the connection. Once that thing happens, if the terminate command is received from the attacker, it should close the connection. Okay, then I'll break the loop. In case else, okay, I need to put it in the indentation block, otherwise it will not work. So you have to be very clear with that. Then else you need to connection dot send, then you need to send your command, right? So what command you really send it from the attacker's machine, it should execute in the victim's machine, right? It also goes in encoded mode. Then it will print it out, print connection, and it will receive the data. Okay, it will receive the data in bytes, 1024 bytes or any bytes. We will explain, we will be using this 1024 bytes in sending manner from the victim's machine. We will be making a code to send the data from victim's machine. Then it should receive the data by decoding it, not encoding in here. Can you see this? The command should go in encoded manner and it receive the data in decoded manner. Okay, so everything is done now. It's perfect. And yeah, that's it. Let me save this one, save the buffer. Okay, now let me run this one with python 3 attacker.py. We don't have any malware, or we don't have any code that needs to be executed in our victim's machine. But why I'm running this? Okay, one second, I'll tell you why I'm running in this. Because running this will clearly show us our code is well built or not. Okay, cannot assign. Okay, something wrong with my IP maybe. Okay, IP is right. Let me check the code. Everything is perfect. Maybe my internet connection was not good at that time, and I just disconnected and reconnected it again, and I haven't changed anything in this code. And now I need to run this code once again. And okay, now our code is running. How we know that our code is running? we just need to grep our code. Okay, so how we can do our grepping of codes? That's very simple. Just need to find out what are the running process going on in our machine by grepping in this way. Grepping in Ama. And we can find out what are the running process going on in our machine by performing this command and grepping out the port. And I think we gave the port 8080 something, right? I think. Okay, sorry. And you can see our listener is active and it is listening for the connection. Okay, now let's build our own code in here, and we'll create a new file and we'll make our code now in here with the victim's machine, and we'll try run this and we'll look for our reverse connection. Okay, so now our listener is running here, and now what I'm going to do, I'll make a client side code in here. So that's very simple. We need to import the socket in here in the same way, and we need to import our sub process library in here. What is this sub process library? Sub process library is responsible for returning your output, input and errors in case if you have mistyped something from the attacker's end. So that's the library will give you what error it is returning from the victim's machine, because many people are not that much good with the Windows commands if he's very well versed in Linux. So that case, in case if he mistypes something, he should receive some error, right, in return from the victim's machine. So that's why we need this sub process. Okay, so it is used to start a shell and it's used to execute command from the attacker's end. That's why we use this sub process. Okay, and next we have the defining of connections. Before that, we'll just go on defining of main function, and then we'll define, and then we'll call our main function in here, and then we'll proceed. Okay, so in here we'll just call our connect function, and then we'll define our connect function in here. Okay, now what I'm going to do, we'll start build our code. So it's exactly the same thing. We need to create our socket in here also, right? So socket next, then you need to start connect. Okay, in here we use connect to connect with the attacker's machine. Once he executes, it will get connected with the attacker's machine. It's not a listener, it is getting connected. So previously we were doing with our previous script this same thing, start connect. Okay, so it will just connected to the attacker's machine, that is the same IP 192.168.43.138. okay, then the port 8080 if I'm not wrong, and that is 8080. okay, so 8080. now just let me close the port, and then I need a loop in here also, because we should not close our connection, right? So that's why. So in case command in here also, it will receive the command in 1024 bytes. In case if it received, it should execute. Okay, it runs with the command exactly the same. So if it receives the command terminate from the victim's end in command, then decoded format one. Okay, then it should close the connection. Okay, and then it should break the loop, else it should perform the command in this way. It will open a command prompt by creating sub process dot p open. So this is what we got, this is how we get the shell. Okay, it will put it in the command and it will do all our things that we need. Okay, so and then it will perform our command. Okay, then it will decode it, then it will open a shell. Okay, it will open a shell, then it will display, or it will work with normal standard errors, standard output or standard errors or everything. Okay, so how it works, subprocess dot pipe, okay, comma, then standard input equal same thing, subprocess dot pipe, then standard output, standard input, then standard errors, right? So then error, then the same thing, subprocess dot pipe. So this command is fully holds all the information for returning your shell and all the process, input process or output, sorry, input output errors or everything that you need. So this is your main part. Okay, so if the victim ends received terminate command from the attacker's end, then it will close the connection, otherwise it will open a shell. Okay, that's why we have this in here. Then what we need to have is that in here is that send our CMD along with standard output and read it. Okay, same thing is that send along with CMD dot standard error, in case if it has anything it will return. Okay, so everything is done, our code is ready. Now let me save this. Okay, and I'll just save this in the name of victim. Okay, now I just need to run this file and everything is good to go. And now if condition runs with this, else everything is good. Now let me run this one module and we can check it out in our victim's attacker's machine. Okay, invalid syntax, shell equal to true. Okay, I should perform in here with comma. I missed the comma in here. Okay, and now let me save it again. Now run this once again, and you can see we got successfully connected, and I can perform my command. Directory ls will not work if I perform ls command, and you can see okay, ls also works. It's good. If I mistype something, arp a, okay, my internet connection is a little bit slow, so that is why it is returning the data in a very slow manner, bit by bit, and no issues. And it is giving me ls is not recognized as an internal command. The result that you are returning in here, that you are seeing in here, this is because of your standard error functionality of the subprocess library. Okay, so that's why we have in here in this one. Okay, so this is how we get reverse connection between a victim's machine and the attacker's machine. Sorry, yeah. Okay, the client that you can reverse TCP connection that you can create. Okay, so obviously it is not a HTTP reverse connection. This is a TCP reverse connection that we performed with our subprocess library and with our Python code. Okay, let's see how to okay, I just stopped my program, and I think I close my file. Yeah, in here. Okay, so we need to make some small changes in here with this code to make our code able to transfer files. Okay, how we can make that? So let me open the same file, and we can just need to modify a little bit of code. Okay, so our two code is in here, attacker machine and our victim's machine. I just need to add a simple condition in here. In case it can receive the comments, it should also have the ability to transfer files. Okay, how I can do that? First we'll do the change of code in our server code and change of things in server code, and then we'll go on with our client code. Okay, so how we can do that? Very simple. In here I need to add another else if. Okay, so in here, so I need to add another else if. In case it receives some other code from the attacker's end, it should perform something else, right? So that's why. So what I need to add in here, else if, for downloading action, I'm going to add a command like grab or download or anything that you can add. It depends on you. Okay, in case if it receives grab command in command, okay, then it should perform the action of transfer command, okay, transfer function. So for this transfer function, connection is necessary. We made the connection, right? Connection is necessary, this one, and it also need a command, 2 arguments it need. So we've introduced a new function and we'll just write down that function in here. Okay, define transfer. Okay, so what we're going to do, we'll just write our server code in here and then we'll do. So how to do this defining of transfers? Simple. You need actually another OS in here, okay, to perform this, and actually you need a subprocess also in here. So import subprocess, then import OS. Okay, so this OS is responsible to play with the files, like we have already seen, right? That one, that's why. So if the OS command, OS path is there, exist, if OS path exist, okay, then with the path it should perform by opening a file. Okay, and we have to do these things in our client code, actually not in here, and in our server code I think we need to do our code that it should accept from the victim's end. Okay, so we'll do code for that now. And yeah, before going on with that, let me finish that exactly the same basic steps that we need in here to transfer files, then only you'll get clear with this stuff. Okay, otherwise you'll get confused. Okay, so let me close this in here, and I need to go in here in client code. I need to add one more part of else in here. Okay, how I need to add that same else in here? I'll just add elif. Okay, and I'll just add grab function in here. So elif, if it got the grab same thing in here in comment in decoded format, okay, then it should do this thing, grab path, then it should perform the command that decoding and split it with the help of this any symbol. You can add space or you can add asterisk or anything. Why? What is this actually? This is nothing but how you mention, how you type your command. So in your command prompt you will be mentioning this like this, right? So after you get the shell, grab image dot jpeg. So this star indicates the space in here, sorry, this space indicates the star, or you can mention in this way. Okay, so the first one is your command and the second one is your path of the file. Okay, the star indicates, and you are going to split that command between the command and the path. Okay, so that's why we are using that one. Then it will try it out to transfer the file with the connection and the path. Otherwise, except it will just pass the connection. Okay, so this is how we make in our code, and we have the same function in here, transfer with s.path, right? And we need to use that same, we need to define that function. So define transfer with 2 arguments, s, path. S is obviously we know the connection, we don't need to worry about that, and we need to work on our path. Okay, so how we work on that? If os path that exists, okay, sorry, and it clearly shows the path, obviously, right? And that is good enough, good to use it in our idle Python. Okay, so if it will open the file in here and path, then it should read the file, right? It should read the file, right? Then what it should do, and then it should send in package cluster of package. So that's why I'm using it in here, packet equal f dot read 1024 in 1 kilobyte, okay, or 1024 bytes. So I want to read the files in 1024 bytes in here. So it will open the packet, so it will open the file and it will send me in 1 kilobyte files. Okay, and I need to add a loop in here because the file will be having whatever be the size. I need the total file, right? So for that, for file length of the packet is greater than 0. Until it is greater than 0, the loop should continue and it should send the file with the connection packet by packet. Okay, so and then I need to add in here packet equal f that read every time for 1024 until the packet size is done fully. Okay, then I need to add in here that is that send finally with 4 digit once the packet is done, while it will go on until the packet is finished. After that it will send done 4 bits of data that indicates your code is, your transfer of file is done. Okay, now I need to add the else code in here. Okay, now I need to add the else code. That else code have is that send and it indicates file is not found, and that should also come with encoded manner. Okay, because it is coming out from the victim's end and it will reach the attacker's end. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, so all done in our code of our client side, that is victim's end, and we need to work on now with our attacker's end. Okay, so I've just made transfer in here with connection and the comment. So connection and the comment, and I need to add the code in here. So how I can do that? We need connection to create it. We already created, and we need to send it the command in here. So how I can send command dot encode? We all know our code goes in encoded manner. Next it will go to grab and path. Okay, so I'm just assigning 2 variables in here to grab and path, and my command will get split with #. Okay, then I'll open the file. I'll put it in that desktop directory. Okay, plus path, the file name, exactly the file name. So plus path. Okay, and it should write the file, right? Not closing or anything, it should write the file, because we read the file in here and in victim's end, and we'll write the file in our attacker's end. Okay, then I want that same while loop in here, and I will be receiving the data as in bits. Okay, so bits connection that receive the data in 1024 bytes. Okay, and I will add in here if the bits data end with done, because that done word indicates the file is over, right? So that's why encode in case it receives that one, then it should close my file, right? If that right, and it should remove, actually, because we have added 4 digits, right? So I should remove that extra 4 bytes. Okay, and after I write the new file by removing the 4 bits, and then I will just close the file. Then once it is closed and I need to print it out, transfer is done. Okay. Okay, then I need to break the loop. Okay, so then I need to add one more loop. If it receives file is not found dot encode, if it receives in bits, because it is sending the file is not found condition, right? In case if it receives that reply, then what is it should reply? It should reply print file not available. Okay, so in this way, then break once again this condition. After everything done, if dot write the file in all bits. So what's happening? It will just open the file and it will execute. Actually, once the function executed in here, and it will check for the command, and the command is if the command is having hash tricks, and it will open the file and it will go to the path and it will store in there, write it in there, and this function, actually this command will do all these stuffs. In case if it receives all these stuffs with the done letters and everything, until then only it will get closed, otherwise it will repeat one by one until the whole bits get stored into that file. Okay, so I think it is done. I didn't make any mistakes. I hope I didn't make any mistakes. Let me save it. Let's check how our code works. Okay, what's the mistake in here? Okay, file is not found dot encode. I just started it in here in this way. Okay, I think I've made a mistake in here in this also. It clearly strikes me that I've made some mistakes in this. File is not found. Yeah, actually I've missed in here. It should come in this here, and open this way. Okay, then I have to use the same way in here. If file is not found dot encode in bits. Okay, I think it will work now. Okay, our code is perfect now in our victim attacker's end, and now let's save this in this end and we'll now run in here. Okay, we got successfully connected directory and grab our file. Which file? new.py. Let's try. Okay, byte subject has no attribute, end with. Okay, everything is right, and we made some mistakes in our transfer function. Let's check it out. What is that? Okay, very simple mistake I've made it in here. The indentation block error, it should go in here, and this one also ends with, not end with, this one. Okay, let me try now. I hope it works good now. Now python 3 attacker.py. Let me run it again. Okay, so dir and grab hash trick new.py. Okay, argument must be string, not bytes. Okay, if not right, that bytes. Let me check it once again. So how many number of mistakes you are making, that will make you into a very well versed coder, that you can build very good codes in the upcoming days. Okay, so once you know where you are making mistakes, the next time you will not make the same mistakes again. I just corrected the code now. I should have mentioned in here with bytes when I'm reading and writing the file, and that's why I've received that error, and it's going on in string, but our code is going in our transfer of files is going on in bytes. Okay, that's why sorry, in bits, and that's why it is returning error. So I have to mention WB and RB in here, so that's why. And now let me save this code, and I'll just clear this file and now run this once again, and it is running now. Control S and module. Okay, it is running now, and let me run this now directory and grab star new.py. Okay, and it will take some time to download the files, and once it is downloaded and we get the positive results, let's see. Depends on internet connection, you'll get your files get transferred. Okay, so that's very easy. That's how we do transfer files, and that's how we do create reverse connection from one machine to another machine. Okay, and you can simply convert your Python file into an exe file by using PyInstaller, and you can use PyInstaller to convert your Python file into a exe file. Okay, so that's how we do reverse connection from victim's machine to attacker's machine, and it's very easy, and we need to spend a lot of time, and we need to look out the code very clearly to check for errors sometimes. And so that's it for today, and we'll see you again in another video, and stay tuned and learn with us, and don't forget to subscribe us, and see you again in another video. Thank you.